Hello, welcome to Math 125 Quantitative Reasoning Calculator tutorial for future value annuities. We'll be using our TI-30XS MultiView to find the future value given a payment and the payment given a future value. So with that, given a future value FV of $120,000, find the annuity payment amount with T equals 6 years, compounded monthly at an interest rate of 3.5%. So remember, our formula for the payment of a future value annuity is payment equals the future value times the fraction where we have on top the rate divided by the number of compoundings per year, so R over N, divided by the big quantity where we have 1 plus the rate divided by the number of compoundings N raised to the NT minus 1. So using our numbers, we'll have the future value was $120,000. Our rate was 3.5%, or as a decimal, 0.035. Our N is 12 because we are compounding monthly, 12 months in a year. And then on bottom, we'll have again 1 plus our rate, 0.035, divided by 12 again, raised now to the 12 times 6 minus 1. So how do I put this into my calculator? My future value is the 120. I'll put that first. 120, 0. And then I'm going to multiply by a fraction. So I'll use the fraction button, the N over D. And now I got to tell it what's on top. Well, I have another fraction on top. I can go ahead and use my N over D button again. And on top, I'll have the 0.035. To get down to the bottom, I will use my down arrow to put me on the bottom of the fraction. I'll put in my 12. Now I need to leave the fraction, so I'll hit my right arrow to get out of it. And now I need to be on the bottom of the bigger fraction, so I'll hit the down arrow again. Now with this, I can go ahead and put in a parenthesis and a parenthesis. Our calculators don't have brackets, so we will use parentheses instead. So parenthesis, parenthesis. And it is the 1 plus, again, I have another fraction, so I'll use the fraction, the N over D button. And then on top, I have the 0.035. And then I need the bottom again, so I'll hit the down arrow, and I'll put in my 12. I again need to leave that fraction, so I'll hit my right arrow to get out of the fraction, and I need a right parenthesis. And I need to be up in the exponent now, so I'll hit my little exponent button, which it looks like a little caret, to go up into the exponent. And I can do my 12 times 6. If you are not using this kind of calculator, you might have to put parentheses around this multiplication up in the exponent for your calculator to be able to multiply up in the exponent, just as a side note. So now I need to leave the exponent, so I'll hit the right arrow to get out of it. So now I'm back just to being down in the numerator or denominator, and I'll hit my minus sign so I can subtract off 1. So once I've done that, I'll put my last parenthesis, and I'll go ahead and hit enter. So I see I get a payment of $1,500 and 21 cents when rounded. So I always round to the nearest cent. All right, then part 2, given a monthly payment of $450, find the future value, FV, of an annuity with T equals 6 years, compounded monthly at an interest rate of 3.5%. So remember, the formula for our future value is future value equals the payment times the fraction where we have the quantity 1 plus R over N, where R is our rate and N is the number of compoundings in a year, raised to the NT minus 1, all divided by, again, our rate divided by the number of compoundings in a year. So with our numbers, my payment is $450. My rate is 0.035 or 3.5%, but we're always going to use the decimal. Divided by 12, the number of compoundings N is 12 because we're compounding monthly. Raised, again, N is 12, so we'll do 12 times T is given as 6, and then subtract off 1, all again divided by the 0.035 divided by 12. So again, how do I put this into my calculator? I'm going to first put in the $450 payment times, and now I have another fraction, so I'm going to use my fraction button, the N over D. I'm going to put in my 2 parentheses, and I'm going to put 1 plus, I have another fraction, so I'll use the n over d, the fraction button. I'll put in my rate, the 0.035. I need to be on the bottom of the fraction, so I'll hit my down arrow to put me on the bottom, and I'll put in my n of 12. To leave the fraction, I again hit the right arrow, and I'll put in my right parenthesis. And now I need to be up in the exponent, so I hit the exponent button, the caret button, and I'll do my 12 times 6. To leave the exponent, I'm going to hit my right arrow, and now I can do my subtracting off of 1. Close out my last parenthesis, and now I need to move to the bottom of the fraction, where I'll put, again, a left parenthesis, and now I have a fraction, so I'll put in the n over d button. I'll put in my rate again of 0.035, and then move to the bottom of the fraction, where I'll put in my n, my 12. I need to leave the fraction, so I hit the right arrow, and I'll put in my right parenthesis. And now with all of that, I'm done, so I can go ahead and hit enter. And I get a future value of $35,995.02. All right, thanks for watching.